What's up, everybody? Big Herc 916. You tuned into another edition of my vlog. I want to say thank you for subscribing. Thanks for your support. You know, I'm all about that positivity and that motivation. And I just want to ask you out there, if you knew of some of the things these celebrities or entertainers had to do to get to where they're at, would you still look at them the same? I mean, would they still be your idol? Would you still be in awe of them in spite of knowing maybe some things they did that you didn't agree with to get their success? What about some of these singers or rappers? Would you still be down for it? Would you still be willing to take that route if it meant that maybe you had to do some things that you didn't really agree with, but at the end of the day, you would have all that money and fame? I don't know. I just was thinking about that, man. I figured I'd put it out there to you guys. You know, I look at some of the things that's really endorsed in our society today. Some of the things that people don't even think twice about. And, you know, a lot of it amazes me. And, yeah, kind of, to a degree, I'm a person that does a lot of reflection, and so I was like asking the question, how did these certain individuals get to where they're at? You know, the more and more we research people, family, you know, background, genealogy, you realize that a lot of the people at the top are all related to each other. As far as business, even in entertainment, you know, cousins, great grandson or nephew or something, you know, some type of connection. But then you have people who have come into, you know, the outer circle, and yet they don't appear to really have contributed anything outside of maybe serving a purpose. And you know, that's what makes me really look at, like, who makes it at a certain level and who doesn't make it at a certain level. Me personally, I know, you know, before I went to the pen, I was on a path that, shit, man, I would have probably done a lot more than I would think, because I was in a different mindset to make it somewhere. I was just so hungry. I was so desperate as far as trying to figure out my pathway. You know, I was just, you know, open to whatever. You know, that's why I entertained a bank robbery. I mean, only a crazy person entertains running up in the bank, laying it down and trying to get the money and thinking, you know, the next day you just, you know, go on like everything's normal. So, you know, putting that into perspective to entertainment and not having to, you know, put yourself out there to that extent, but there's other things, you know, maybe you have to engage in something that compromises your moral standards, your religious standards. You know, I have an understanding now of just a lot of things that I didn't really have an understanding of before. You know, you think about like just the push of all the images of just certain demographics, say black males with jewelry and guns, one angle. They're, you know, it's symbolic of, you know, something now in our culture when you see that. And, you know, if you add that to a music video, usually gets millions of views. You take that same person, maybe you dress them up and put a suit and tie on him, and or maybe throw just even him in front of a desk with a book, people call him a nerd or a square. Same person. You look at a lot of the stuff going on, and you know, in the Hollywood side. You know, you say you taking all these acting classes, you're taking all these drama lessons. You get there and you still gotta learn your lines. Man, that's an arbitrary game, man. I mean, it could be anybody's day, you know, as far as you have, you know, 100 people, 1,000 people that can play the same role. It just depends on who's gonna get blessed with that lottery ticket. And to get blessed with that lottery ticket, you and I both know a lot of people had to go through that old Harvey Weinstein thing. You know, a lot of the women did. Guys, you know, you don't want to talk about what they had to go through because it probably has something to do with some cheeks. Either way, it's a compromise, man. And I think, you know, at the end of the day, you know, you want to try to use straight talent to get there, but the people who have had to go through what they went through want you to do something else, and that's why it perpetuates. That's why it's never ending. That's why you can't ever just do you unless you just really feel that, man, I'm ready for the long haul. But if you want that jetpack to the top, and then, man, you know, a lot of times, you know, it might be something involved in there. And like I said, everybody that continues to push whatever that other objective is, they've had to do it too. So they feel that it's really not nothing big. You know, we all had to do it. That type of attitude. And, you know, to add more fuel to the fire, why all these people with all this money and fame, why are they all depressed? Why are they on drugs and drinking? Why they feel like life is so bad that they want to just, you know, almost take their own life and have to go to rehab? They don't get it, man. I mean, you got regular people who have, you know, 2 and 3 baby mamas and working 2 jobs and trying to make it, and they're not going out ass backwards like that. But these people who have all the fame, all these followers, all the people that worship them, and yet they're always having issues with drugs and alcohol. Rehab, he's back from rehab, she's in rehab, back from rehab, in and out the hospital. What's going on, man? What's really tormenting these people? What is haunting these individuals? Why are their spirits of such unrest? Did they go through something that now they want to get away from, something that they're trying to, you know, cleanse or purify? Or is it a way of coping with just that darkness? Hey, man, I'm just asking, would you still idolize and want to walk in the footsteps of these actors, entertainers, musicians, if you knew what they had to do to get there? Big Herc 916.